So one of my favorite developers of plugins and Kontakt instruments, homegrown sounds, has got a brand new MIDI toy that I've been finding totally fascinating, a lot of fun. And because it's available now as a sort of a semi-beta, it's not entirely polished up, but it's still working really well, and it's at a very good price. And also because it's a complex looking thing, it has a very simple way of using it that's not entirely obvious. I thought it would make sense for me to make a quick video demo of how I've been using it. Years ago, I spent a lot of time with audio looping devices, playing guitar into little audio recorders that would capture the music and loop it and let you layer it and play over it. Well, this is a MIDI looper inside of Kontakt. It's very well described here on the site, and there's at least 2 demos that the developer has already created for it, as well as another video that shows exactly how to use Kontakt the way this uses it. In other words, as a MIDI effect rather than a sound source. The MIDI looper doesn't come with any samples, and you can't load samples into it. It's not at all about sample playback. It's a way of using the Kontakt scripting engine to make Kontakt a MIDI effect, driving other sounds. You can get all that information here. I just want to cut right to the chase and show you how simply this thing can be used to get a lot of really interesting things happen. So I've got it set up in live with Kontakt and the MIDI looper on one track, set to receive input from my MIDI controller, set up a second track with a MIDI instrument, set to receive MIDI from the Kontakt track. So with the playhead rolling, we've also got the sequencer rolling. Here on the sequencer number 1, it's simply been selected. We can select between these various sequencers as targets for recording. So here I've got number 1 set up, and as you can see, it's rolling along. And all I need to do to load MIDI into it is just start playing. So we'll wait for 1 to come. So there it is, looping. There's lots of different record modes, which I'm not going to go into. That's what the other videos demonstrate, but I prefer this to be in layer mode so that as it goes along, I can add more to it. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So now I'll switch this off and switch number 2 on. And if I don't like what's going on there, I just clear it and start something else. Okay, now I can switch out of record mode and turn that off and trigger either or both of these 2 sequencers down here with these keys. So here's number 1. And now, while they're rolling, I can select variations on them, which I've set up here, a few. So this one is set up to be no variation, so I can return to it. This goes up 7 semitones. This goes up 5 semitones, but changes the root key. And can be set to different scales. The scale in use could be randomized. Set to auto. one that goes down 2 semitones and changes the key to D. The mode can be different. Direction. And of course I can play my 2 patterns together simply by playing those 2 keys. Of course, you don't have to use your mouse to select these variations. That's what the green keys down here do. So, number 2, number 4, number 6. And the blue keys here actually act as transposers. Here the C is basically no transposition. And there's a huge list of scale types here to select from directly if you don't want to randomize them. So as you can see, you can automatically get lots of interesting and surprising things going on together and vary them as they play. And if you switch out of looping mode and into record, here in live anyway, it's very easy to simply capture everything that's happening. Another alternative, pretty interesting, is that you can switch over to this sort of step sequencer mode and switch to an empty area here. It's not really intended for this purpose because you can't very easily figure out what pitch you want. But if you turn all the velocities on and just start clicking in here, as it's rolling along, you see, watch the little red position indicator. I'm just turning all of those on as a convenience. So now I'll go back to MIDI control, and each one of these 7 sequencers I can control with. It's set to hold now, so I can just get them all started. And it's like latch mode in an arpeggiator. Turn that off, and of course, lots of interesting things happen when you combine sequencers. These have all been heard with variation 7 here. If we go back to variation 1, this is how they were originally recorded. And now I'm just randomizing the scales being used. Assuming you get the point, and there's plenty more to explore here. I just wanted to cut right to what it took me a couple of days of serious head scratching and messing around to get to, that there is actually this extremely simple level of using it that's pretty much just like an audio looper, only you've got 7 tracks, and then you can run all sorts of interesting variations on the loops as they play through. I'll provide some links to the other demos and so forth. But if this sounded fun to you, I urge you to jump on it while the early bird pricing exists. Thanks for watching.